gorgeous. Oh, we're on camera.
Okay.
Hey, good morning. My last live interview of Anarchapulco 2019 is with Rebecca Powers, who is the executive director for the Center for Natural Living. And the reason I railroaded Rebecca into an interview is because she is setting up intentional communities, and she's going to tell us about it. Because I personally I'm very interested in this subject. I think a lot of people are or will be, because you don't want to set up residency in another country necessarily and be alone. You want to be with like-minded people. You want to have some friends. You want to have a community. So go for it, Rebecca. Please tell us about what you do.
So my name's Rebecca, and I'm with the Center for Natural Living. We have 3 main projects. One is the Sustainable and Autonomous Communities Initiative. And what I'm interested in is, as you mentioned, many people are wanting to have an alternative lifestyle where they can live off-grid, where they can grow their own food, where they can harvest their own energy, rainwater collection, solar energy, wind energy. And so what I'm interested in my long-term goal is creating a duplicatable model for eco-village design, perhaps a land development firm that could make it easy for individuals to, like a turnkey sort of operation, so there's no barrier to entry. So it makes it easier for individuals to live this lifestyle. But before getting there, what I'm doing is a lot of research. And so we're going on a Sustainable and Autonomous Communities Initiative tour. We call it SACI.
Nice.
Where we visit eco-villages and learn the best practices and learn from them what's working really well for the individuals living there, how they have consensus, or what their conflict resolution is, and how they practice permaculture or regenerative agriculture, and what sort of structures are they building. And we're going to aggregate this data and hopefully along the way build a network. And then in an effort to bring this to Central Texas, which is where I'm based, 3 of the individuals associated with my nonprofit have already acquired property. So I right now am living on a 50-acre farm, but 2 of the individuals on the board of my nonprofit just bought land as well. And so we are wanting to do this in Central Texas primarily, but also have a network of individuals all across the globe who are living this lifestyle to proliferate a more alternative, self-sufficient sort of network of what we call stewards.
Absolutely. Awesome.
Woo!
So that was good. So you're living in Central Texas. That's where your first community.
That's home base. Yeah. Although I did move to Acapulco a few months ago just to write out my strategic action plan, and I was super inspired by Anarchapulco.
Yeah.
And I needed like a cool environment to conceptualize.
So you came to Anarchapulco 2018 and moved down here.
In October, yeah.
That's brilliant. I'm telling you guys, if you come next year, you will be doing the same. It's addictive.
It's beautiful. Yeah, the people here are so sweet. I've had an absolutely extraordinary experience living here, and I'm really excited to take all of my Zen energy and all of that, like really just alignment back to Central Texas in March, so that we can start doing some permablitz parties, start planting and really proliferating the communities there, and then touring around the United States and maybe even Europe to see eco-villages there and learn from their best practices.
This is fantastic, and I plan to follow up. Now, if people are interested in the Texas initiative,
yes,
what would a plot of land run, or a home? I mean, are you building homes?
Yeah,
or
I've had a few people ask me this.
Yeah.
Well, the property that I live on, my mentor, her name's Erica, her perception of how this would all work is to create a condo association, and she would like to sell shares. I don't know how comfortable she would be with me like sharing all this information, but her vision is to sell a share, a half-acre lot, for $100,000. However, you then own equity in the remaining 40 acres, in which there's an incentive to improve the land, steward the land, make the land more valuable. The land is the first partner. Now, in regard to the other properties, my friend Dustin, it has a smaller amount, and he's thinking for his 7-acre lot, maybe just to do a 501c7 membership. So you own the membership, but dictated within the community agreement that you sign, the contract, it says you essentially own your lot. So you can approve upon it whether you have a tiny house or a non-permanent structure. We want to do permanent structures. And then my friend David, who's also associated with my nonprofit, he just bought 84 acres of land, so he has way more land to play with.
Whoa.
And he hasn't totally figured out exactly. He's thinking tiny houses, non-permanent, but maybe in the future permanent structures.
Oh, so this is definitely going to allow allow for a lot of different income levels. So if
yeah.
he's doing 84 acres with tiny homes, people who don't have a lot of money will be
Yeah.
able to afford that.
And
hopefully.
part of us building this
Yeah.
network is like different people want different things. Like I want a permanent residence and I want to be able to rent it out while I go travel and such. But some people just want a temporary, like a tiny house where it's not so permanent. So maybe they would be a better fit at this other person's property, right?
Exactly.
And so it's about like, it's almost like matchmaking for eco-villages.
I see.
And like
Yes.
finding people with the same principles and like, oh, you'd be a better fit here or here.
See, that's the thing. You want to align. When I looked into not tiny homes, sustainable living communities a few years ago, I found a lot of like cult-like,
Oh,
you know,
yeah.
or principles that I didn't necessarily align with, or people I didn't necessarily align with.
The freedom to be able to move is very important.
Yes.
That's why I like the idea of tiny houses, because if you're not jiving with the people there, in a lot of intentional communities, you feel maybe in the past they failed because the people felt stuck, they were tied to the land.
Right.
But I think it's interesting nowadays we have mobility and the freedom, most people, to work off the internet and work wherever they want to.
Exactly.
So they could perhaps say, okay guys, this isn't working out, let me
Yes.
move my structure elsewhere and try something different.
Awesome. And is Texas particularly hospitable to this kind of living?
Well, a lot of the people that I speak with are wanting to do this outside of the United States, but I think that Texas is a great place to do it because people there are fiercely independent.
Yes, indeed.
When you
They
say,
are.
where are you from? They don't say the United States, they say, I'm from Texas. Just, aside from that, you look at the region, and where I'm based is sitting on one of the largest aquifers, and so talk about natural resources, and it's called the Hill Country. It's Central Texas, and it's just a beautiful, beautiful, majestic, sacred place.
Wow.
They say San Marcos, Texas, where I'm based, is the longest perpetually inhabited place in North America.
Interesting.
So there's a beautiful spring-fed river, and I think it's beyond just the government and the states and them being cool with people wanting to live off the grid. It's also like, what is the land offering? And so you have to look at spring-fed rivers,
And you have to look at
climate,
exactly, and
what
how
grows there.
and is the government of that state and the surrounding area are they going to be tolerant of sustain? And you don't want to be seen as the green weirdos living in the mountains.
Yeah.
You want to be able to merge
Governments-
with outer communities.
Right now, it's a big compliance issue. There are many laws saying like it's illegal to do rainwater capture.
Yeah.
It's illegal to have a compost toilet. You have to have septic.
In Texas, it's illegal to collect rainwater?
No.
Oh.
But in some
certain
places,
states, there certainly are. Right.
So it is definitely difficult because there's so many barriers to the
Exactly.
legality of living this lifestyle. Not because it's like a bad, unethical, like unsustainable lifestyle. In fact, I would argue that this sort of living is better for the environment. However, the laws just aren't keeping up with the technology, or maybe they just don't want people to decentralize in this way. So
Right. Got it. All right.
anyway, yeah,
Well,
Texas
that's
seems to
brilliant.
be pretty
Oh, wow, I'm glad
easygoing.
But that's your home.
Depends on the county. Yeah.
Oh dear, it's so complicated.
And the land,
Hats off
then
to
on the
you.
land, there are like deed restrictions, and there's all sorts of different things about the county regulations
Right.
and codes. So it's pretty,
Well, you're doing really
overwhelming.
important. What you're doing is incredibly important.
Thank
and
you.
All these little pieces, folks. I only brought you a taste of what's been going on here, but all these little pieces are not so little. They're enormous. I mean, they're
puzzle.
It's a puzzle, and it's a life undertaking. And most people have given their life over to the process for the future generations, and that's what Rebecca's doing. She's laying the groundwork, and by the in the coming decades, you will see the fruits of this grow and hopefully cover the planet. This type of living.
My long-term vision is clear. It's a world of interconnected, sustainable, and autonomous communities that render the government or hierarchical structures obsolete.
Amen to that.
It's good work.
Yeah.
And to liberate humanity from the electric grid and cure our fossil fuel addiction.
Would you do me a favor? Would you explain to these kind folks about 5G? Are you able to do that?
My friend Derek knows a lot more about this topic, and my mentor Erica has spoken to me about it, so I'm not an expert on this
No,
topic.
and neither am I. But what's your understanding of it?
My understanding of it is that the technology would not be beneficial. Perhaps it would be beneficial as a convenience for our ability to connect to the internet. However, the implications it may have on our health, which there are some scientific studies suggesting that it's very detrimental to human health and God knows what other life forms.
Yeah.
So, you know, you got to think about life in terms of vibrations and frequencies. And so when you think about that and the implications of 5G on our health and the world, because humans are interconnected and part of the natural world, then what are we doing with this technology? What are the negative ramifications of this technology? And does that outweigh the benefit of the ease of using the internet? So I think there are arguments being made that it's far worse for our health than the convenience of faster internet speed.
Oh, yes, indeed. Well, thank you. That was a really good explanation. Thank you so much.
I'm not a scientist, but
Rebecca Powers, you're awesome. Thank you for talking with us.
Gratitude for the opportunity. I hope our paths cross again.
They will. Bye, guys.